What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Virzi Effect podcast show. My name is Paul Virzi, and you guys are listening to episode 620. I am home solo in the home studio because I am not going to New York City again today. I have to go in tonight. I was there yesterday, and I was there on Monday, and I'm going there tonight and what, tomorrow or whatever, and it is 96 degrees and humid. Um so I am just flying solo here. Okay, we are back for another episode. We had to take last week off. I'm sorry about that. What the fuck is on my there? Yeah, we had to take last week off, guys. It was 4th of July. I'm going to talk about that. We had a ton of shit, man. We were at weddings. It was a lot. It was a lot of stuff. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys for your comments. Please continue to tell people about the Virzi Effect podcast. This is basically my solo podcast with a guest sometimes that I've been doing for a while now. And this is just for my diehard fans. So thank you guys so much for your comments. Keep commenting and reviewing. It moves the show up. Get the Virzi Effect podcast everywhere you get your podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff. And my other podcasts too, Bone to Pick with Bobby Kelly. And I'm going to be doing a football one again, Anything Better. That we're going to be doing that again. So me and Bill Burr will be doing the football picks coming up soon. So check them out. And please, very important, guys, go to my YouTube channel and click the subscribe button. It's free. It's easy. You'll get recommended clips. I got more clips coming up. And we're going to have some of my old specials on there soon, I believe. And obviously, we're working on the new special, but uh, negotiations are going on with that. I have decisions to make about that. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of conversations that you guys don't have to see and deal with. It's part of the business that I hate. It's when things are out of my control or when I have to make these decisions and stuff after putting in such hard work. You got to sit there, you got to wait for phone calls. You got to wait for managers. You got to wait for agents. You got to wait for this. You got to wait for that. You got to figure out what the best thing to do for yourself is, for you and your family is, and all that shit. That's what happens when a special and big things like that are going down. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. But whatever. Anyway, I could tell you a new special's coming, and I was told it's my best work yet. I feel like it kind of is too. So when I have more information, you guys will have that information. All right. I hope everybody had a great, happy, and safe, mainly safe July 4th. You guys know I do a July 4th party. And for 9 straight years, it's been amazing. This year was no exception, but I do have to say I was disappointed with something at the party this year. Okay? Nobody got hurt, nobody got injured. Thank God. That's the number one thing. When you get the fireworks, we make sure everybody's away. We make sure if something feels like it wasn't lit, you don't run up to it and do anything. We wait to fight another day. Nobody's getting things hurt or blown off. I'm very, very serious about that on my property. Okay. And I just don't want anybody to have their time ruined. I don't want anybody to go to the hospital, obviously, or worse. You don't want any, God forbid, anything like that happen. And nothing like that did happen. However, for the first time in 9 years of me having this banger of a party, this year was a little lighter. Next year is all out. Next year it's going to be, I may have 100 people back there. All right. Next year, I believe, is the 10-year anniversary since we've been getting the fireworks. And we're going to go big. I figured out how to do the fireworks better. I figured out how to do the fireworks without having to light them. Okay. This is all new technology shit. But this year we had to light them. We had the lighters. And I don't mean the actual lighter. I mean, people had to walk up and light. You need a certain amount of people to do it and all that stuff. So, but this was the first year in 9 years that I've been having this party where the fireworks, we had some, what's it called? We had some technical difficulties with these fireworks. Now, when we did light the ones we wanted to light, and when we did, like, it banged. It was great. We had all kinds of shit flying off in the sky. There was some video taken, and it was amazing. It really was. But we had some gaps in between. We had issues with mortars getting tangled. Two of the cakes that were $300 each were duds. One started to go and then just fizzled out. One was like halfway done. So that's the first time that that's ever happened. So that made us have to wait a little longer. It took time in between. Now, listen, people said, great job, great show. And I know, listen, I know we spent some money to have this party to be great with fireworks, but it was the first year and there were some newbies here that wanted to see it and loved it. They said, oh, spectacular. But I know that it wasn't, when when everyone's like, oh my God, that's great. But you're like, nah, man, you got to come next year. So that was the only thing that bugged me. It still seemed to be great. Everybody had a great time. The late night dinner was the best it's ever been. If you guys don't know, we do a party, we do hot dogs, we do hamburgers, we do desserts, then we do fireworks. And then about 11 o'clock at night, another dinner comes out. An Italian dinner comes out. And then you got cookies and coffee. I mean, it's a whole thing. It's a whole to do. It's so much, I'm not going to lie, it's so much work. I was working for like 3 days. I was in my garage for days, just fixing shit up, the yard, all that stuff. And that's what you do. You have a party, you gotta come correct, you gotta do it right. But I was a little disappointed with what happened with the fireworks, and now I'm gonna make sure next year there's no lulls. We'll have backup plans in case of anything. So we're gonna really figure it out. I figured out something. My buddy showed me something that technology-wise is the craziest thing in the world. You don't even have to light them anymore. You could hit an app on your fucking phone and have the whole thing set up. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm not going to lie. That kind of pissed me off, dude. I was like, man, like I take so much pride in the show. I take so much pride in my 4th of July party, making sure everybody's, eating enough, drinking enough, having a good time, making sure they don't need anything, making sure on top of it. And then on top of all of that, making sure they get a nice seat and they watch a good fireworks show, which I think they watched a good fireworks show. I don't think they watched a great fireworks show. It could have been better. And that's what kills me. Oh, guys, it kills me to say that, but that's the truth. Your boy's a realist, you know? But um in 11 and a half short months, I will do it again and we will fix it. So there you go. I hope all of you guys had a good time. I figured out how to do the party. You want to know when it's amateur hour? When these fat fucks throw down 4 or 5 burgers, 2 dogs, they're sitting there sweating, not from the heat outside, because of how much they ate. They overdrink. By 7, 8 o'clock, they can barely keep their eyes open. They go right home after the fireworks because it's almost like premature ejaculation. When you were a kid, you were a little kid, or not a kid, but like when you were young, fooling around with girls, and you'd get a boner, as they say. And listen, things didn't last long. You were a little kid. That's what it's like when it's amateur hour when you go to a big party. You're so excited. You're like, I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat the dogs. I'm going to eat the burger. No, no, no. You know how to do it. You have one burger. You have one dog. You space your eating out over time. You don't start drinking immediately. Take some time. You have a water or two. Okay. Guys, trust me. You're talking to this is an amateur hour here. This is what you do. Okay. This is what you do. You get there, you have a couple bottles of water, you get yourself hydrated. Okay. You drink slow. You don't go to hard stuff early at all. If at all you go to hard stuff, you make sure it's in like a nightcap. Okay. You drink the White Claws, you drink the High Noons. Okay. Shit like that. If they have like a specialty cocktail that's for the party, you do that. All right, that's cool. But you don't start drinking whiskey and have fucking 7 hot dogs halfway through the afternoon, and then you're just a shit show and a mess. You got it. Come on, guys. And you know who you are. And I know some people going, fuck that. It's America. My grandfather didn't sacrifice for. No, but he also didn't sacrifice for you to be a fucking bubbling slob who can't even fucking handle himself and wait for the fireworks to go up. If you're so hammered that you miss the fireworks or you got to go home before the fireworks, you're doing your country a disservice. I'm sorry. Um, and we didn't have any amateurs here this year. You want to know why? Because I know how to invite people to a party. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's like a draft. You have your definites and then you have your do withouts. The do withouts, I think you guys know what the do withouts are. A do without is basically, yeah, I don't mind if they're here, but we could do without them. You don't want to be on the do without list. You want to be on the definite list. A do without is somebody that's kind of fun, but they open their mouth a little too much. They overly joke. Half the people love them, the other half are like, eh. And then you got a decision to make. It's like you're the GM of a team and you got to have a conversation with the owner going, look, I don't know. Here's the pros and the cons. A do without is a wild card. A do without can drink too much, say the wrong thing. A do without, you might not love the do without's wife. That's the other thing. Or you might not like the do without's husband. That's another thing. Goes both ways with the sexes with do without. You could have the wife be awesome, the husband to do it out. Now that makes the decision even harder. Now you got to sit down, you got to talk to your wife. You got to go, look, she's a definite, but he's a definite do it out. So now what do we do? Okay. 70% of the people like the dude, 30% wish he wasn't coming. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. So we didn't really have too many I don't think we had any do it outs. We had no do it outs. Everybody handled himself well. Everybody was great. Like I said, the fireworks thing, the desserts were amazing. Shout out to Chris Italia, who once again, if you guys don't know Chris Italia is an old friend. He's the owner of the Stand Comedy Club in New York City. Chris and I met each other in Los Angeles many years ago, and we've been pretty much been close ever since. We went to him and his lovely wife's wedding 2 weeks ago. And he just, he shows up with cannoli cream from the Bronx, the piping bag. People were piping their own cannolis. He showed up. He knows I like rainbow cookies. He showed up with rainbow cookies from the Bronx. There were cookies. There was shout out to Giannis Pappas, his wife, for bringing a coconut cake, which drives me nuts in a good way. People had, oh my God, one of my friends, brought a strawberry, I don't know what kind of cake this was. A strawberry strudel. Dude, I took one bite of, then there was an olive oil grape cake. Dude, the desserts were plenty all over the joint. Chris Italia came through with the cookie, with the rainbow cookies. Now, we went to his wedding. And I want to say this right now, and you guys know, I think I've talked about this before on an earlier thing. If I haven't, by the way, this is kind of going to be half of this podcast will be for fat fucks. So if you're fat or you like to eat or you should be fat or you once were fat, this is all going to resonate with you. Um, you know, I lost more weight and I'm probably in the best shape I've been in like half a year and I'm still going. I'm doing good. There were gummy bears all over the house and I only had, I would say, a handful within 4 days. So one handful divided by 4 days, not a lot, was very hard. Um, but uh, when you go to a cocktail hour, you go to a wedding, the cocktail hour is key. Okay. I think a cocktail hour can make or break the wedding because if the food at the cocktail hour doesn't get you full, then now you really need to bet on the way. Here's the bottom line. The bottom line is you can't leave a wedding hungry or saying the food was bad. One of those two things cannot happen. Okay. And if both happen, then it was a bust. All right. We go to Chris. Chris Italia goes, man, I was thinking about you and Giannis during my cocktail hour, what you guys would say. We made sure we had the right stuff and this and that. I'm like, Chris, do what you want, man. Don't worry about us. But dude, did he ever deliver? We walked in and it was like a wall of king crab legs. Then you keep walking down, and there were carts and carts of sushi. Then to the back of us was a Greek station. They were handing out drinks. They were handing out hors d'oeuvres. One of the hors d'oeuvres was chicken and waffles with a little dab of cotton candy on top of it. Um, the sushi was incredible. This is all before the dinner. And then you go to the dinner and it was a non-traditional wedding. There weren't tables and assigned things. You're just walking around and it was just wall-to-wall food, different stations. Barbecue station, pasta station, seafood station, sausage and pepper station out on the balcony, out on the deck. Wines were coming out, champagnes were coming out, tequilas were coming out, cakes were coming out, cookies were coming out, candy was I mean, it was, look, um, I have a little girl, and hopefully I'm blessed one day to walk my little girl down the aisle and we'll probably pay for her wedding. And I will tell you this, um, it's just going to be top to bottom food, you know. There's going to be fat fucks piling out of the thing, probably getting sick in their vehicles on the way home. That's what it's got to be. That's what it's got to be. Okay. It's got to be. If somebody ever said, oh, the wedding was beautiful, but we all were hungry afterwards, I'd be like, I fucked up. I fucked up. What can you do? Um, so yeah, I mean, shrimp was going around like an animal. I mean, it was great. It really was great. Uh, but of course, my wife wanted to leave when it was time to kind of leave. But then Chris Italia's brother goes, oh shit, we forgot the cake and the champagne. And I'm like, Stacy, we got cake and champagne coming. Okay. We got cake and champagne coming. I gotta, you know, second, we got steak. I mean, steak, cake and champagne. Imagine steak and champagne. We got cake and champagne coming. We can't leave. And then Chris goes, Paul, you're gonna miss the fucking candy station. There's gummy bears. So now I look at my wife and I'm like, you're gonna make me miss cake, gummy bears, and champagne. And you know it's gonna be all of them are gonna be good. And she's like, babe, we gotta go. We gotta go. And we did have to go. We had the kids to deal with, we had the dog. So we did have to go. And yeah, I'll never forgive her for it. But other than that, it was such a fantastic wedding. It was such a fantastic cocktail hour. Congratulations to Chris. I'm glad he got married. His wife Cece, great. They came to the party on the 4th and they enjoyed themselves. We told them how great the wedding was, this and that. And yeah. So I would say if you don't care, and a lot of guys are like, hey, I'm gonna let her plan it. and that's fine. But as long as her planning it includes a nice cocktail hour. Now, this isn't me trying to be like, I'm just saying if you want people to leave going, now, some people don't care. Some people will get married in sweatpants and have a fucking cookout and they enjoy themselves, and that's fine. I'm not judging. I'm just saying if there is a cocktail hour involved, if you did pay for that shit, you just got to go hard. That's all. Giannis told me about this wedding. He said it was wall to wall seafood. He said if I would have saw it, he said it was something he's never seen before. Giannis's dessert room at that castle he got married in was something out of a Disney movie. It was wall to wall in a giant room. Cakes, cookies, pastries. I've never seen anything like it. It was like if you saw it in a movie, you would be like, come on, dude, that's like royal families wouldn't even have that much. Like that's what it was. And I don't know what it is, but the older I get and I see shit like that, I'm like, that's classy. I know somebody's going to listen to this, go, man, Virzi fucking changed. First he's talking about the, you know, no, I didn't change. I'm just getting older and I'm realizing what better shit is. That's all. That's all. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, you know, no cocktail hour and a good wedding with a nice dinner is great too, as long as it's nice and a beautiful place. I'm just saying, you know. Look, I don't know what to tell you. I walk into a place and I start seeing shrimp and sushi and king crab legs right when I walk in the joint, and you hand me a cocktail, the kid's gonna have a good time. I don't know what else to tell you. I just don't know what else to tell you. And that's really what it was. Um, and what was funny though was I've been told that I gotta give a good speech. I'll give a good speech if I have to, and I'm all done. I was best man at one of my buddies' weddings. I was best man at my brother's wedding. Um, I gave a speech when I was the godfather at a christening, and I do a good job. But it's funny when you know how to give a speech, then you start judging people's speeches. You start going like, all right, let's see what they got, not in a dick way, but like, because I got so nervous and I take it so seriously when I have that honor. So I wanted to see. And a lot of people go, I'm not going to lie, a lot of people go up with a piece of paper. I don't think you could do it. Listen, you can do a killer speech and have it on a piece of paper, but if it's on a piece of paper, it goes from an A plus to an A minus or a B plus. That's all. If you guys think differently, let me know. I just don't, I don't know. I never, as a comedian, went up with a piece of paper, even when I'm working stuff out. I like to have it memorized. That's what helps me train. Um, you know, I don't know. I'm just not one of those go up with a paper kind of guy. I feel like there's something to be said about really doing the work and studying it and knowing it and having it known and ready, or at least bullet points in your head to get there and speaking from the heart. That's what I would say. But overall, congratulations to Chris. Great wedding, great cocktail hour overlooking New York City from across the river in Long Island City, Queens. Beautiful. And I got to tell you something. I thought he was joking with me, but his brother comes up and his brother goes, yeah, go check out the magician. No, I think he's fucking around. I'm like, what? We're at this beautiful, elegant thing. And he goes, yeah, go check out the magician. I hired him. I'm paying him. Go fucking have a good time with it. And I'm like, what? And I don't know if you guys know, but I wouldn't say I love magic. I don't go to magic shows, but I love a nice magic trick. If there's something on TV or that street magic stuff or a clip, I'll stop and watch. All right. And sure enough, there was a magician at this wedding. And I don't know if his name was Justin Smith. I don't want to be wrong. But anyway, he's over there and somebody flags us down and they go, watch this. This kid takes out a fucking quarter and he makes the quarter float. He makes the quarter spin and float and elevate in midair, no strings, and then go to his hand. I don't know if there's magnets. I don't know what's going on. Obviously, it's impossible to do that in real life, but whatever he did, it looked real. It was amazing. One of the craziest card tricks he did at our table was he was holding one card from a deck. I saw this with my own eyes. He had a t-shirt on, nothing went up his sleeve, nothing. He had one playing card in his hand and he shook it and it turned into a deck of 52 in front of my eyes. I obviously know it's a trick. I have no idea how the fuck he did it. And then he shook it again and it went back to one card. Now I know there's going to be somebody listening to this go, no, I know how the fuck they do it. I saw it on a thing. This is how they do it. Fuck, he's full of shit. No, whatever. Guys, I know magic's not real. I know people can't float. I get that. I know people can't set themselves on fire and not be burned. I know that. I know that there's all a way to do these things, but it doesn't mean it's not incredible to watch and it's a great illusion. The craziest thing he did was he lit a tiny piece of paper on his lip. And then when it puffed up into a flame, he fucking just turned it into a giant ice ball. That was the wildest shit I ever seen. I'm not joking. Out of nowhere, he fucking turned a little burnt piece of paper into a giant ice ball. So I go up to the kid. Now that's all I needed to see. I go, dude, are you booked for the 4th of July? And he wasn't yet. But we did it. My wife's like, oh, next year we're gonna go all out. We'll get him next year. But I'm getting this guy. I'm getting him. Because a good magic trick is pretty nuts. There's also another kid online doing shit that he's going up to people and he's telling them to like think of a name and he comes up with the name and he's going up to random strangers and he's going, all right, this is the thing. Now, I don't know if he talks to them and it's a setup, but these people seem shocked. Look, some people got skills. The way people could, get on stage with a microphone and make people laugh and have that skill, right? The way somebody could dance good, the way somebody could sing good, doing some shit with magic. Magic is insane if it's done right. There's a comedian, Jimmy Schubert. Shout out to Jimmy Schubert. He did one which was nuts, where he had he showed me an Altoids tin that had all these mints in it. And he never moved it. And then he opened it up again and he made it empty with a card in it, I think, or just made it empty. And like I just watched it. So like I don't know how he did it. But those tricks, and I'm just like, and the kid was half blind. The magician was half blind. Um, uh, I think, unless that's part of his thing, but no, I think he was. I really think that I think that he was half blind because he had the, like he was like he had that look where he was like staring but not at something, and like I think he said he was legally blind, not like 100% blind, but incredible magic. Like the one card into 52 in front of my face when he shook it, and then what was the other one? Oh, then he made Giannis write his name on a card, and then the card ended up in somebody's pocket. And like we were watching this kid's hands. That's the thing. He had a t-shirt on. I believe he had a t-shirt. No, maybe he did have a jacket. But we're watching his hands. And he did that thing where he's like, is this the card? And you're like, oh no. And everyone's like, oh, he got it wrong. And then he's like, oh, then that means it went to one of your pocket. And we were like, no. And then it was like in somebody's pocket. So pretty cool thing to do at a wedding. At first, you're like, you're hiring a magician for a wedding. You don't want that guy to suck. That would suck if everybody's like fucking dressed to the nines, eating sushi. And some guys just, I'll tell you, one of the funniest things I ever saw was we were on a cruise and it was a last minute thing with our family. And we went to the magic show on the cruise. And my wife, Stacy's like, I'm not being a volunteer for any of this shit. I don't want to be a part of this. She's like, we're going up to the balcony. So I'm like, babe, I don't think you have to worry. We could sit on the floor, but go a little far back. She's like, no, sometimes they come out to the crowd. I'm not dealing with anything. I just want to stay here. I want to have some drinks and enjoy the show, but I don't want to be any part of the show, any volunteer. I'm like, fine. So we go up to the balcony. Dude, this magician was so bad. We saw him take like a colored ball and like try to do some fucking like distraction, and we literally saw him throw it over his shoulder, and it was supposed to go under the curtain, but it bounced at the curtain and was right there. I mean, it was bad, bad. And I was like, that sucks, you know. Because here's the thing. You could be a stand-up comic and have a bad set, do a joke that doesn't work, just have an off thing, have an off night, bomb, whatever. It happens, right? And people could go, oh no, that's a good comic. He was just trying something new, right? You could be a good singer and one part of the song, your voice cracks a little bit. And people are like, you know what? It happens to people's voices, whatever. It happens, right? A band kind of sucked live. I'll give them another chance. It happens. You can't be a shitty magician. You can't drop things and they see where it is. You can't like all of a sudden shit starts falling out of your sleeve. You're throwing stuff behind you that you get caught putting shit down your pants. If you do that, it's like I'm not going to see this guy again. It's got to be for magic. It's got to be a one and done. It's got to be a one and done in magic if somebody's really really bad. Um, somebody was talking about David Blaine and they're like, this guy just like starve himself, put himself in a box, go in ice. And it's like, yeah, that's more of like a torture, you know. I do like it's nuts when somebody can make a card go into a glass of or a bottle of beer. That's awesome. I love shit like that. But when it's bad, I think bad magic is, and plus, if you hire somebody to be at a wedding of somebody you love very much, you almost got to audition them. You almost got to be like, look, bud, I'll pay you, but like, well, we got to figure this out here. Like, could you imagine spending money on your daughter's wedding and a guy comes in and just shit's falling out of his pants? You know, he quits halfway through. You just see him as part of on the dance floor drinking, like just gave up. Like that'd be a nightmare. Your daughter would be like, "What the fuck is this guy doing here? Everybody's saying his magic sucks. Like, get him out of here. You got to relieve him of his duty early." You're like, "All right, dude, thanks. By the way, I'm not. I need half my money back." And those guys, by the way, a good magician I heard can make like 1,000 an hour. 1,000 an hour, you got it. You can't fuck up. 1,000 an hour. Let's make a do without disappear. How about that? 1,000 an hour. Make the do without on the dance floor disappear and be in his car and fucking have him be gone. There you go. Look at that callback, everybody. I didn't even plan that. That was a freestyle callback. I just put the do without in a disappear scenario on a fly. No paper, just like my speeches. There's another one, ladies and gentlemen. That's another callback without even thinking about it. Okay. Now I'm going to feel good when I go eat my king crab legs and my sushi. There's a third one, everybody. I just put a fucking bow on it. Let's get into a couple things that I watched on TV. I'll get into a couple things I've been crazy this week. We were in Washington Square Park. By the way, I got to talk about this for a second. And then I'll get to the two things that I watched. One's a movie and one's a show. Bobby Kelly and I went to Washington Square Park yesterday and we were doing street bones in the park for our Patreon. Guys, I'm telling you right now, if you want to cry, laugh, sign up for our Patreon. It's only $5 if you like bone to pick. We are in the park, okay? And it's basically a reality show, but like as much as we're in the park getting bones, it's me and Bobby bitching at each other. It's me and Bobby trying to flag people down, making fun of each other's approaches to flag people down. All right. It's hilarious. We had such a good time. It was 96 degrees, but I have to say something. I saw some of the most disgusting and saddest shit I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not mocking it or making fun of it. I'm genuinely like, that sucked. Like, there was a woman laying on a bench, barefoot, her ass hanging out of her clothes, her fucking top barely buttoned, She was a heavy set woman. Her hair was all frizzy and fucking obviously not done. And I thought legitimately she was laying on the bench having a conversation on the phone, and she wasn't. She was either schizophrenic, crazy. She'd start laughing. She was talking to somebody like she was having a full-fledged conversation. And then a guy walked over and started talking. He saw me in the Yankee hat and he goes, "Oh, Yanks." And he started like talking really low. And then Mike Albanese, our producer, goes, "I'm pretty sure he just said he had AIDS." Then this fucking homeless dude came up soaking wet. I don't know if he was high, drunk. He tried getting on the show. So we said if he would have a bone. I think he kind of spit on me. I almost threw up when he was talking. He spit, I think. Um, Then a guy walked over and was just like, "Hey man, real quick, man, what planet would you say is?" And he starts talking about planets. And guys, I'm not joking around. This guy walking around the park barefoot, dirty, beard, fucking long black hair. He just goes, "Hey man, what planet are we on?" And Bobby just looks and goes, "Earth." And he goes, "All right, cool, man, thanks." Like, I legitimately think the kid was trying to figure out where he was. Like, I really think that this dude was either so high, drunk, out of his mind, schizophrenic. I don't know what he was, but I think he was asking genuinely what planet he was on. Um, and then you just see a lot of fucked up things, dude. And again, like not judging, but like some of these people smell, some of these people, and it's just like, look, I feel bad if you're homeless, but if you're not and you have a shower and a place to like, how are you not? Anyway, we had a great time. It was wild. It was hilarious. It was hot. It was gross. It was funny. But check out the Patreon because we talked to some doozies. We talked to some doozies. Even a famous actor came up to us. So check out the Patreon. And I think you guys will enjoy it. What I wanted to say was now you guys know if you listen to the show, if you listen to me, um, who I guess you could say inspiration was as a little boy. It's Eddie Murphy, and you guys know that. Eddie Murphy for me um is just the guy. There's just something. I never had it before with anybody else. I've never felt like I in a weird way relate to him. I've in a weird way um just just somebody you're in awe of. You know, I never understood how people could like talk to a celebrity and then when the celebrity walks away, they put their hands over their face and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't." Like, but Eddie would do that. Eddie would do that with me. To me. I just, I'm a little kid. I think I part of the life I'm living is because of him. So, if he ever said something was funny, if he ever I don't know if he saw a clip of me, um, but I I love Eddie, and we were watching the new Beverly Hills Cop movie, and I know some people complained about it being like unoriginal, but I thought that I'm not going to say it was the greatest movie. I'm definitely not going to say it's the greatest Beverly Hills Cop. The greatest Beverly Hills Cop is still the first one, but I thought that they did a good job. I thought that they did a good job. I thought that they kind of also made it realistic where like he's getting older now. So when he tries to fuck around, he's like, "Look, I can't do this anymore." Like I like that like they kind of showed a human aspect to him in this one. But while still being the character of Axel Foley, I also think that Eddie kind of yeah, he stayed true to the character but kind of gave it its own thing later in his life. Um, it's also one thing that I do like is that they made it like police work and doing that stuff was like the only thing he had. But in this one, they showed like he realized that maybe that was true and he really needed to focus more on his daughter at the end. So, look, not great, but not bad or terrible at all. And that was refreshing. I'm not going to sit here and say Coming to America 2 was good because I wanted more from it, and then people were like, "No, but it was more of a celebration." That's not okay for me because the first one wasn't a celebration. It was a great fucking movie, and that's why I want to watch the next one. But they didn't do that with Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills Cop was Beverly Hills Cop with a different story, but good. And I really liked it. Like if this Beverly Hills Cop was in the movie theater, I would leave going, man, that was an experience. That was a Beverly Hills Cop experience. That made me feel good. Um, there's just something about Eddie, man. I know it sounds crazy and stupid for another man to talk about a man like that and be like, but dude, the way he just walks, the way he moves, the way he kind of is just like, I don't know if it's nostalgic for me. I don't know. One of the greatest compliments that I ever got in comedy was I was performing um in Long Island where Eddie Murphy lived. I was in Levittown, and somebody from there watched me. I had a great set. I killed for like an hour, and somebody goes, and I'm not, again, this is not to toot my own horn, but you'll understand why it meant something to me. They go, the last time I saw somebody make me laugh that hard for that long was Eddie Murphy live. And that, like, dude, that meant like, that's a compliment that I'll never forget. Um, Eddie Murphy is the fucking best, man. He's, he's the best. And I loved watching it. Now, I also watched the first episode of The Bear. Got to be honest. I love The Bear. The Bear is one of the best shows I've seen in a long time. Episode 1 of season 3, I get it, like the flashback into the present, the flashback into the present, the flashback into the present and seeing some things. You know, it was too long of it. It was a whole episode of it, but back and forth and not much really going down. I know that it's going to get better, and that's kind of what they wanted to do for the beginning. So I'm not hating on it, but I just was like, all right, man, I always wanted a little better from episode 1 of a season that's already existing. Like I said, episode 1 of Yellowstone's season 4 was one of the best episodes of any TV show I've ever seen in my life. Based on what happened at the last episode of season 3 and then how they opened season 4. It's one of the best openings of a show I've ever seen. So when a show gets good, you want the opening of the next season to kind of kick you in the dick. It was good. It was good. It was unique and different, but it wasn't like, what I really, really wanted, if that makes any sense at all. But definitely I'm interested in watching episode 2 and all the rest of them, and I'm sure that it's going to be great because I love the show. It's one of my favorite shows. There's something about that kid too. Like that kid is so good that he doesn't need to be saying anything and you just feel what he's doing. There's something about that. um Another thing that I noticed, and this is just for any Beverly Hills Cop or Eddie Murphy nerds, is that what I really learned is that the character of Axel Foley. I actually got to talk to Vladimir Camaño about this. We got to probably do an Eddie Murphy episode. But the character of Axel Foley, every move that he makes is calculated. And I know this is like reading into it. This is like what fucking nerds do when they talk about Lord of the Rings. Did you know that Frodo the whole time was talking about, like, but Eddie Murphy's character, Axel Foley in Beverly Hills Cop, every little thing he does is means something to getting to the greater point of it. That's what I love about that character too. When you watch it, especially in one, but when you watch it, all of his actions have a plan. And a perfect example of it is like when he got caught in the warehouse and he goes, "Hey, how you doing?" And he's just like, "Can I have a match, please?" And he goes, "Oh, you can't smoke in here." He goes, "No, I'm going to go smoke outside." And then he just goes, "Are you security here?" He goes, "Yeah, then you're the fucking problem. Let me talk to your supervisor." And then the supervisor gets there and he goes, "Yeah, I'm doing, what's it called? He's inspecting all of the warehouses and they have the worst security." He goes, "This guy gave me a match for Christ's sake." But like everything he does is like that, like calculated. That's what I love about it. All right, I'm not going to nerd out on Eddie Murphy anymore. Um, but yeah, so and the Bear, I'm interested in watching the Bear. What can I say about sports? The Yankees are really hurting right now, getting ready for the Giants and my New York Knicks, guys. What an offseason they had. They had to lose Isaiah Hartenstein financially, but I think we're going to be okay. We're going to get another center. We still have Mitch, and let's be honest, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle. Oh yeah, that little point guard we have named Jalen Brunson. Not to mention our bench, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo. I mean, the Knicks are deep. I'm really excited to see what, knock on wood that they stay healthy. So that's going to be awesome. And, we'll see what happens. Maybe the Yankees bounce back. All these fans are like, it's fucking over, blow it up. It's not over, guys. It's not even the All-Star break, you lunatics. Chill out and relax and enjoy. And speaking of enjoy, guys, see what I did there? It's what we call a little transition. Speaking of enjoy, I want to tell you guys where I'm coming. Seattle, Washington. Your boy will be there on the 26th and 27th of this month, July 2024, at Laugh Comedy Club in Seattle. On the 28th, I will be at Mississippi Studios in Portland. Come and check me out there. Then we have a bunch of stuff. Hold on. I should have had this. I should have had this lined up. Should have had this lined up. I kind of been on point today, but you know what? It happens. But you know what? I'll get right to it. How about this? All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Where is it? Oh, I guess is it off? Oh boy. Yeah, I dropped the ball here. I mean, now this is like my fireworks show. Hold on, I'm coming. What? All right, here we go. You ready? We got Seattle the 26th and 27th. We got Portland the 28th. I'll be at the Fort. I believe it's the Fort, Baltimore, Maryland, September 13 and 14. I'll be at Yonkers Comedy Club the 20th and 21st. The 26th through the 28th, I'll be at Side Splitters in Tampa. I will be, what else? What else? Levittown, New York, Governors, October 18th and 19th, November 1st and 2nd, Point Pleasant, New Jersey, Uncle Vinny's, November 11th, Munich, Germany, guys, Munich, Germany, and November 23rd, 22nd and 23rd, Providence, Rhode Island, the Comedy Connection. We're adding more dates. So more dates are coming. We're going to have some more dates. But that's what I have right now. Come and see me. You go to paulvirzi.com for all of those shows. I'm doing the best material that I've ever done, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. Thank you guys who are following me. Thank you guys for telling people to follow me. Thank you guys for growing my social media. We did another 1,000 followers this week. All right, we're moving up. The Virzi stock is going up, and it's because of you guys. All right, so thank you guys so much for doing that. And yeah, check out my YouTube channel, guys. My YouTube channel has a bunch of things, including clips from this show and other shows and stand up. Just go to my YouTube channel and click the subscribe button. If you're a friend or a fan or both or whatever, I'm asking you. I don't ask for much. I'm not asking for money. I don't do a Virzi Effect Patreon. Click the fucking subscribe button on the YouTube and let's get these clips going out there to everybody. All right. What else do we have here? That's pretty much it. Next week, will there be a show? Yes, there will be a show next week. I'm trying to get a guest for next week. I am going to be at the beach August 10 through whatever, middle of August. So I don't know if there'll be a show unless we get another guest. We could do something like that. All right, but share this. Let me know what you think. Any thoughts? Write into the producer. And oh, I got a little bit of I got some hate on my WNBA tweet. It was a joke. It was fun. It was fine. Most people loved it. A couple people. You know what was weird? A couple of dudes that were comedians got mad, going, "Oh, this is a guy trying to be a man." I joked. The tweet was, "You can't deny Caitlin Clark. You can't deny Caitlin Clark has made millions of more people watch the WNBA and realize how bad a product it is," or something like that. It's a funny, quick little thing. A lot of people loved it, and then a couple of people were like, "Really? Ho, where do you come up with this stuff?" And then I looked at their profiles, and they got like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese at the foul line. Fucking disgusting. Let me tell you something. Any man who can't take a joke like that and is going like, "Look, I guess this guy just makes him feel like a man," is a fucking dickhead. You bitch, we're joking around, you fucking assholes. That's why I love you guys, because if you're listening to this, you would never do that. And I got a new joke cooking right now. I got a new joke about betting on the conflict, Israel Palestine right now. People seem to love that. That's out right now. So check that out. Guys, I will be back next week. I hope you guys are having a great summer. Spread the word. Check me out on the road, paulvirzi.com. Like, subscribe, YouTube channel. Get me on the socials. Until next week, I am out of here. Love you guys. Check out Eddie Murphy and Beverly Hills Cop, and I will see you guys soon.